Okay, there we go. And from that, I think you could gather that the overhead catenary system actually functions as it's supposed to. When I first put up this entire system, I wasn't really planning on it being hot. I made a couple provisions to make it possible and pretty easy to switch over if I felt the need to, but I didn't for a few months until one of the commenters on my videos, he seems to watch my videos quite a bit, Slow Decay, he's sort of into electric locomotives, and we end up talking about it a little bit. And he's brought up several times, I would go so far as to say he's badgered me into seeing if I can run my electrics off of the overhead wire. And eventually, I got bored, and I decided to test out what he was saying. And, well, what you just saw was the result. It actually works really, really good. And I want to be transparent, this locomotive still has its rollers in place, but it wasn't picking up any power from the third rail on the track while I was running it off of the catenary, and I think I demonstrated that okay. But on my transformer, I have the regular power to the third rail on the layout unhooked, and then hooked in I have this alligator clip going to the overhead. This is just so I can test it. Eventually, I'm going to run some feeder wires here, maybe one over there, and if I feel necessary, maybe one over there and over there. But since the wire isn't super thick, you don't lose a whole lot of power over the distance of the layout. So that might not be strictly necessary. But this is the first locomotive that I've wired in to run off of the overhead, an E60. I just ran a wire from the pantograph, as you can see right here, drilled a small, tiny little hole in the roof, just wide enough for the wire, soldered the wire to the pantograph, and ran that wire to the hot circuit, or the hot pickup in the locomotive. So this is wired into the third rail and everything else. I just didn't want to remove the rollers because I don't trust myself with losing important parts of locomotives. And besides, this way I can actually power the passenger cars at the same time as the locomotive, which, you know, I don't really care if the lights are a little brighter or dimmer, and besides, I think it's kind of cool that the power is flowing from the overhead through the pantograph and into the third rail. So all the power pickup on this locomotive is dependent on my handiwork of the overhead line. And so far, it's gone pretty good. The only major change I had to make to the wire was taking every little section out and either sanding or taking a knife and scraping the paint off of it, because when I painted my wire black, I didn't really care if it got on the underside because I didn't intend for it to be hot. But after a good maybe 45 minutes to an hour of working on scraping off that wire, it runs just about as reliably as if I had the third rail hot. As you can see here, I put a passenger car on the track just to show you what I mean by the power coming in through the pantograph into the third rail and powering the coaches. So you can see that. And if you saw that, you'd assume, okay, both of the units are getting power from the third rail. Not really. Now let's kick this thing into neutral and then lower the pantograph. Both the passenger car and the locomotive cut out. There it goes. is. So technically, there is current going through the third rail, but it is not supplied directly from the transformer. It is supplied through the overhead catenary, into the pantograph, into the electrical of the locomotive, and out through the rollers. There is no assistance directly from the transformer to the third rail. It is all dependent on the overhead catenary. And one cool thing, and the main reason why I did this, is the pantograph, no matter what, is going to spark just a little bit. And it's kind of hard to catch on camera, but I'll see if I can do that. It's not doing it. I did it once. I don't know if the camera caught that, but I'm going to go take this car off and turn off the light and see if I can get a good shot of the arcing and sparking of the pantograph. So there is one thing that I've been messing around with a little bit, and I thought it'd be worth filming a quick video for. Again, I'm not going to be putting out a whole ton of content, but this was just something that I felt was a notable moment for my layout and, well, the overhead system itself. And funny that I did this about 4 months after I got the whole system up, but I'm glad that I did it now, because it's really actually cool. Like, I am very excited and very happy that this works. So anyways, thanks for watching and have a great day.